Welcome to the SoCal Real Estate Development Podcast, from blueprints to skylines, where we interview the go-getters in the industry. Today's guest is Ross French, a developer and investor. Ross, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for coming on to the show. Can
Sure.
you tell the listeners about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I'm, a professional real estate investor here in the Los Angeles area. I focus on just ground up construction, so new builds. Not the biggest name out there, but I've been focusing on new builds, really small multifamily new builds. I've got some buy and hold stuff out of state, but yeah, I love doing the construction. I've always said that uh, getting into this space, guys or boys, they love to demolish stuff and they love to build stuff. So in this space, you get to go do these infill projects. You get to do both of those things. So it's been fun.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. What inspired you to kind of get into this space?
So I've been in the construction management. I've been in construction management kind of professionally from my career. That's what I studied in college. So out of college, I went to work for a large GC here in the Southern California area, and then so I've always been around construction, interested in construction, everything construction. I've just been following it, whether it's uh, magazines about construction back in the day, or just projects. I think that's one of the things I love to do is I love to walk and talk and see other people's projects, see what they're building, how they're building it, stuff like that. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of value that can be created through the forcing managing the design and construction process, but kind of forcing that appreciation. Um, anyways,
Can you talk about from your W-2 to a real estate professional? Can you kind of talk about that journey, that path?
yeah, of course. Yeah, so being in the construction management side of things professionally, I did that for basically 20 years. About 2017, I was endeavoring in my own development here in the Los Angeles area. So, again, small multifamily, but when I took that project on, it was challenging. It had a lot of speed bumps along the way, but at the end of the day, it was also pretty rewarding. I was able to see firsthand, what it takes. It definitely took a lot longer than I anticipated, or ever underwrote. But it's one of those things that as you peel back the onion, you figure it out along the way, and you get to see that there is a real benefit and upside to just doing it and taking some of that risk. And it's managed risk, but yeah, with my construction experience professionally, and then kind of tying that back into my goals personally, personal goals, I was able to leave my W-2 last year, and then just I've been focused on real estate development here in the LA area, basically for the last year or so. So
Right on. Congratulations for that leap there.
yeah,
Um,
thank you.
what resources do you rely on to stay up to date on the current development trends?
Oh, I'll do a lot of different networking events. There's a lot of good speakers. The speakers, they're tied to the location and what's going on. There's been a lot of progress with the state and their ADU policies and regulations. Yeah, I've seen some pretty big ADUs out there. A local builder in the LA area, I don't think it's fully permitted, but he's got like an 8 bedroom, 8 bathroom ADU. So it's crazy what the law will allow you to do nowadays, if you're creative with what's out there. Um, but then, yeah, I mean, there's I'm always trying to stay connected with you know, folks locally that are kind of, you know, moving and shaking in this type of in this space. And then on top of that, I mean, architects, you've got to have a couple architects that you can rely on, you can talk to, kind of just pick their brain and really go through, you know, what the highest and best use of a property is. So I think those would be the two things. I mean, I really have to get out there, whether it's weekly or every 2 weeks, to talk to people at networking events, and just stay on the up and up on what's changing. Because, you know, the ADU laws, again, that's an example, but the ADU laws back in, I forget, 2017 or 18, it was not that robust. But now, again, now I'm walking property and I'm seeing 8 bedroom, 8 bathroom ADUs, which is crazy. It's
Yeah, those ADU laws are constantly revolving too and growing. So,
yeah.
yeah. What are some misconceptions about real estate development that people think? Uh,
Yeah, no, good question. I think one of the misconceptions is, you know, the amount of money it takes. You know, probably people think you need millions of dollars laying around to just go invest and do one of these deals, but it's really not like that at all, unless you're building, you know, 50,000 square feet. But on some of the projects I'm looking at and focused on, you know, you can get into the deal, you know, conservatively, maybe 650, 750,000. But if you're really smart with your money, you can probably do it with 500,000 or less, and get into some decent builds. And, you know, just on using myself as an example, on the first project I did, um, I was I was thinking I could build it for 125 a square foot, and I was wrong. But I did build it for 151 a square foot, and then you know, fast forward and you sell it for like 290. So there's some real benefits to just, you know, doing the development process. But then, you know, at those price points, 125, 150 square foot, you can kind of, because you're going to have levered items and you're going to have unlevered items. So you can kind of do some math. That was back in the day. I don't know if we could build at that price point today, but yeah, you can do back of the napkin math and figure out where and what kind of investment you would need.
so
But
what
yeah,
went wrong right there? You said you were able to build, you thought you can build for 120 around, like,
oh
then what kind of what was the mistake, or what happened? What went on
yeah,
right?
that one was holding cost. That one, my holding costs, my timeline took me 5 years. But so that's a long time. But
Mhm.
basically, I got stuck with a property. I missed a fire lane. So by missing the fire lane, you know, you gotta basically. I had a really deep property. It was like 300. I think it's more than that. It was like 300 plus feet deep. So anything over 150 feet, you've got to have a fire lane that's 20 foot wide, which kind of broke the deal.
Whoa.
But
The architect didn't bring that up at the time, or
he missed it.
he missed it
He
too?
missed it. I didn't know about it. It was my first deal, but
Oh,
I had a great neighbor that was willing to work with me, and we ended up going and signing a shared driveway easement. And yeah, he worked with me. It took some time, but that's what. Yeah, that was one of the things I learned, and that's one of the things I look out for nowadays. But yeah, that holding cost did creep up, and you know, it's just another cost of doing some of this business.
what's something you're working on right now? Let the listeners know. Give an example of something got going on in the pipeline.
So yeah, I've got I've got a deal kind of in the south central area. So yeah, south central Los Angeles area. Um, me and my two partners, we are about to break ground on a duplex, but it's a very, very large duplex. So um, we are this duplex will be focused on SRO, so single room occupancies, rentals. It's kind of like the WeWork for housing, where there's shared spaces, common spaces, and so this duplex, it'll end up being 4 stories tall, and then we just max the lot width and the lot length, um, and then we will ultimately have 30 bedrooms and 30 bathrooms in that puppy. So, yeah, we just got the ADU permitted, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. So we met with the contractor. Contractor's moving out there next week, and then yeah, we should be off to the races, doing another deal ground up. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, right on. Nice there. What's a big obstacle, and then the mindset behind it? How do you power through it? How do you navigate through that?
Um, I think big obstacles. That's a decent question. I think you just have to surround yourself with good people. If you have like-minded people and people that are on the same, you know, um, kind of at the same level with the same goals, I think you're going to figure it out. But yeah, when it comes to mindset, I mean, I just look at I'll look at deals differently, but I'll kind of go in with it as a you know kind of fixed on the front end, and if it makes sense from that fixed perspective, maybe there's some pros and cons along the ways. Um, just try to do the best where we can. Maybe it's taking advantage of other ADU densities or density bonuses out there. Trying to think what else on mindset I can give you. I mean, one thing, not totally, this doesn't totally answer your question, but one thing I do is daily I'll write down affirmations. So when I wake up every morning, I just get a lot of water back in my body because we're all dehydrated. Then I'll sit down and just start writing, and I write through, write down affirmations on a daily basis. For me, it's just I've got to get my mind right. I've got to set the day up correctly. And for me, it just works that I've just gotten into the routine where I just go to my notebook, write down affirmations, and just really try to fix my mindset. And then from there, kind of set every day up the same.
I don't know, very powerful there. What can you share a win or a successful story recently happened to you that you can tell us about?
Um, I think, well, I'll use the same project as an example, but I would say Q4 last December of 23, on that same project here in Los Angeles, we got our valuation back from the appraisal, and we were excited. We didn't realize how much value was in that model. But yeah, we got a valuation back, just creating the design by right. And then at that point, we did hit timeout. We said, hey, is there anything else we can do to increase the value in this property? And we just said timeout. We got cheap financing now, so we went back and got the ADU as a density bonus, and then that did give it another boost. So going through that process and going through it strategically, it really makes sense to do that, both for us as in the partnership, and then ultimately for what we're doing and what we're building for the end users.
Do you look for partnerships? Do you look for investors? How does that work in your model? How does that work, Moss?
Yeah, no, it's been kind of friends and family, mostly. I would say probably mostly friends, but yeah, I'm actively looking for partnerships. I'm partnered with some guys that I used to work with back in my corporate construction days. So they kind of all get the construction models. It's, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of time explaining that, but yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunities for, you know, people with capital, people that are seeing, you know, seeing the path of progress. And then, you know, I hope I would, you know, and I think I do bring value in just pushing the job and finding the job and underwriting the job. You know, there's hidden value where, you know, where I'll work with people to basically just, yeah, just identify the right property, push the job, work with the right architects, and then it's kind of rinse and repeat. But yeah.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks for sharing that. How can the listeners get a hold of you if they have any questions, any investment opportunities?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm not super active on Instagram, but you can reach out to me at Ross Wayne 23. Wayne's my middle name. So Ross Wayne 23 on Instagram. Um, and then if not, I can share some links with you here, and we can put it in the show notes.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for thank you for the your time, and please stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you, Ross.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great day.
you.